Hello everyone, all 26 subscribers to my channel. I haven't made a video for quite a long time and various reasons for that, but what I wanted to do today was do a pretty big shopping haul. In fact, I didn't realise till I got everything together just how much stuff I've collected. Now, this is a good 6 to 8 months worth of homeware. Nearly everything was a bargain or pretty reasonable. So without further ado, gosh, it looks like a shop, like a Christmas shop or something. In fact, a lot of this is very Christmas themed. For instance, I seem to have been attracted to lots of green, red, white and blue, which are kind of Scandinavian sort of colours. But in any case, let's just start, just dive right in. So I think this little frame here was from IKEA in the bargain section, you know, just before you get to the tills. I think it was £2. The perspex is scratched. I put the fern in there. There was some little stones in there. It's supposed to be one of these novelty frames, but it's perfectly fine white frame, if a bit scuffed, and my aesthetic is certainly not very polished, so that suits me fine. Another IKEA frame. This time I think something crazy like £8, you know, new, and nothing wrong with it, but for the size and the quality, it's amazing. And before I go any further, I want to say that lots of the pictures in these frames are taken from a book that Dave no longer uses, but he used to be very interested in the Russian Revolution. And it's a really beautiful book, but neither of us ever read it. And so he let me take out some of the colour plates. And as you can see, they make really quite beautiful pictures. So that's IKEA. This is Oliver Bonus reduced. If you look a couple of times a year, Oliver Bonus do reduced homeware. Not massive reductions, but sometimes as much as half off. This is a doorstop, and I really like that. This little red bucket is IKEA. I can't remember how much it was, maybe £4, but I keep some craft supplies in there, and I just think it's a really delightful, sweet little red bucket. Oh, I'll just say something about the rug that I'm kneeling on. This rug is pretty big, as you can see. IKEA as well. I think something like £18 or £28, or at the most 36. I know that seems a lot of different prices, but the problem is I can't quite remember. But my point being, it's so cheap for such a big rug, and also it's really nice. It looks quite good quality. It's quite light, so it's handy when you're cleaning. You can you know, just lift it up and sort of shake it out of the window, and it goes with so many different things, and it looks actually quite smart with our couch and everything else. So that's the rug. This is a basket which I saw on IKEA's website, and lots of people on Instagram had it actually, and I really like the look of it. I didn't realise quite how big it was until I went into the store. I use it for my kind of clothes I'm wearing but not ready to go in the wash in my bedroom, to try and stop me just leaving them on the floor. I think it was a little bit more expensive than I would expected for IKEA. It's something like £25 or something like that, but it's still really good value. A little chopping board from IKEA, I'm pretty sure a couple of pounds. These little fairy lights look quite cheap and nasty close up, like this nylon sort of net mesh, but from a distance, at night, when the room is quite dark, when they're lit up, they look so pretty. You can see them in my short video about my Scandinavian / Russian / wintry bedroom makeover. They're just like a bigger version of fairy lights, really. Then we have this plate, which again is Oliver Bonus reduced. I think it was something like £36 or... But I just... it's a bit twee, a bit naff, but it's just really pretty. I love pink things. These little rugs, both these rag rugs are IKEA, something like £6 each, and I got them because I wanted a Swedish vibe in my bedroom. Each of them are slightly different, so this one, for instance, has a bit more red and darker colours than this one, which I like. These two wreaths are also IKEA. I think they're in the Winterfest section, so I'm not sure they're available all year round, but certainly will be at the moment. And these little berries were from the range. Oh my goodness, I just realised I'm shooting the wrong way around. Okay. Excuse me a minute while I rectify that. Okay, this comes from not having done a YouTube video in so long. So basically, to pep up this little wreath from IKEA, which had little plastic white berries, I cut a range wreath up and popped the little red berries in, and now it looks a lot better. Let's go around the edge. Here are some more IKEA frames with more of the pictures from Dave's Russian Revolution art book. And I'm just delighted with the way these square pictures frames turned out, actually, because I think they were £8 each in IKEA, and they're sort of aluminium. And this black plastic frame is also from IKEA. It doesn't look that great close up, but from a distance, that's going to be my catchphrase for this video, from a distance it looks actually pretty nice, and if you get the right picture to go in there, it can look quite smart. And similarly with this red plastic frame from IKEA. Again, I don't know if that's a Kandinsky, but it's from, I think it might be, it looks very much like it, but it's from Dave's Russian art book again. Now, onto some posters with what I was delighted to find are IKEA stock, and that are wooden poster hangers. I've been looking for these for ages. The only trouble is they're so thick, if you can see. Oh, I've cut my finger, I don't know how. If you can see how thick that is, it takes up quite a bit of the picture itself. So this poster, which I like because, this is also IKEA by the way, these posters, there was a pack of 4, because it reminded me of a kind of Scandinavian house. Quite a bit of the picture is actually taken up by the poster frame. This poster here, I quite like the botanical print. It looks quite nice on the wall. But because I tried to put only a tiny bit of the poster in the poster frame, as it were, because it's so wide and I didn't want to lose any more of the design, what happened was it broke away, and there's still a bit in the poster frame. So I think you just have to use the whole width of the poster frame and lose a bit of the design, but still the poster frames themselves were really cheap. I haven't seen them in many other places, and so I was pretty pleased with that. Then we move on to what you've probably seen in my bedroom for quite a while if you've seen any of my Instagram posts. It's this little white metal tray with removable shelves, which I absolutely love, and I use it as a bedside table. Again, from IKEA, I can't remember how much, but certainly no more than about £35. Then these 3 square frames are also from IKEA. I painted the red one so that it would kind of match this actually really beautiful picture of a sleigh, a horse-drawn sleigh from from Dave's Russian book again, and quite pleased with how that turned out. And this is again a picture from the Russian Revolution art book, and with a dark frame, and that the same goes for that, except this was a pale frame from IKEA. And these frames were so cheap, I think they were £4 each. Now we come to another IKEA purchase. It's a poster of a painting by Carl Larsson, who's one of my favourite interior designers, and I get a lot of inspiration from him. A poster within a larger IKEA frame, and I think the white IKEA frame was £19, and there's another Carl Larsson poster from IKEA in the same frame there. I think this is my favourite combination of picture and frame. Actually, this is another IKEA plastic frame, but kind of made to look like wood. Square this time, and in it I put this, I think, so beautiful painting, but I think it suits the frame perfectly. I really like the way it crops in closely. This little mount was from one of the IKEA frames, and just for a bit of variety I decided to put it on the wall without the frame. And again, this is a picture from the Russian book. These are also because I wanted some variety in the way I hung pictures in my bedroom. I decided to use these little bulldog clips from IKEA this is a Kandinsky, this is a whole page from the Russian book, and then I used some paper. I just blue tacked behind that, to be honest, because I'm not allowed to knock nails into the wall because it's a rental property. And then I just used some paper tape. I may as well talk about this now. Bulldog clips and paper tape from IKEA. Cheap, so cheap, about £1 each, I think. And I just put the paper tape on these other illustrations from the Russian book, and it just makes the walls look a little bit more interesting, at least more interesting than having frame all the time. Then there's a little oval portrait frame, and again in it we've got a picture from the Russian book. This frame actually does look quite cheap close up, and so to partly camouflage that, when it was in my bedroom I put this wreath around it, and it kind of looked, again from a distance, a bit unusual and I think quite pretty. And last picture, I think, is this Swedish horse. I'm not quite sure what the right name for this horse is, but it's an archetype in Swedish decoration and tradition, and I got a pair of these frames. So there we go, that is the pictures taken care of, except to mention one more, which is this, it's supposed to be a record, an old LP. This is from Tiger, I think it was £10. And I liked the look of it, but then I thought I could maybe Photoshop one of my drawn CD covers and put it in the centre. So, pictures aside, now I don't know what to go on to. Probably soft furnishings and bedding. So we've talked about the rugs. This reversible pillow slip and duvet cover is from the range. I think it was something like £20 or £29 for a double duvet cover and two pillow slips. And I just really liked the colours and thought it might go with some other things I have. Now, the tablecloth is from Tiger and was £10. If you see the Scandinavian dining scene on my Instagram, you'll see the blue table runner with that. And what I like to do is put a white cotton tablecloth on top of this pink and red check. And so the pink and red check is just sort of poking out the bottom, and then on top of the white tablecloth I put the blue table runner. And the blue, red and pink, the blue, red and pink scheme goes quite well with that picture in the background. You see that one, Happy Watered and Fed, which was from Olive Bonus and wasn't that cheap and wasn't reduced, so I'm not going to talk about that. And it was unusual for me to buy something full price and not cheap, to be honest. I don't know what I must have been thinking that day. So onto the soft furnishings. This big, I don't know if it's a floor cushion, is from IKEA. Probably a lot of people have seen it. It's got a really pretty folk type print, and I got a pair of them because I realised that if you want to dress a bed or couch, it really helps to have a pair of cushions. I never really thought about this before, but after looking at lots of interior design blogs and magazine spreads, etc., I realised this. So I also bought two stripy IKEA cushions, which to me looks so Swedish, and what I would love to do with them one day, or if I ever had my dream home, is put them in a kitchen on a kind of wooden Swedish bench by the table. You know, those kind of benches with the back, quite ornate. I think that would look lovely. I also bought a pair of two little white, excuse the mess behind there, little white striped cushions from IKEA. There we go. Because I've realised that it's really handy to have some neutral things in amongst all the colour. I don't think there are any other pairs of cushions except that these really intricate, pretty folk style cushions. They don't match, but they're the same type of cushion. I prefer that one because the colours in the other one look a tiny bit cheap, but I love them both, and I was really chuffed to find them. So onto other cushions, all IKEA from now on. There's a kind of sage green fake satin one. There's a really pretty rose cushion. It's like a watercolour, bright peachy pinks and greens. A very, very basic red square cushion. And I want to say before I go any further that IKEA also sell feather cushion pads, so much more cheaply than I could ever imagine buying anywhere else. And while I'm on the subject of bedding, I actually bought a double duvet cover and two white pillow slips from IKEA. Just so handy to have white bedding, which I used in my sort of Scandinavian wintry bedroom makeover. Then I've got this like damson colour, and it's actually grey, but it looks purpley on this phone. And then this royal blue piping. This is a velvet cover from IKEA. It gold and white spot cushion, a kind of yellowy gold small velvet cushion. And then over here, a kind of patchwork, arty abstract cushion with this lovely cerise pink, which goes quite well with that green duvet cover. And actually that bedspread on the top there, I'll get around to that in a minute. And then like is that sage? In real life it looks sort of sagey. On the phone it looks more aqua, but that's a velvet cushion from IKEA, and that's a dusty pink velvet cushion from IKEA. They're both quite long. I've realised that everything from IKEA is actually a lot bigger than you think it is. So, for instance, you can't really see it, but this little trolley here, it's like a tea trolley with storage area underneath, encased in that wire mesh. It's actually really big, which is great because you can fit a lot of tea things on the top, but online it doesn't look very big. And this wooden shelving unit is from IKEA. I think it's £17, and they've got a smaller version. Again, that was bigger than I thought it would be. And this, I just love that little trolley so much, like that kitchen trolley. That's from IKEA. And that again is bigger. And their cushions are really big. Now, that little grey cushion, velvet cushion, is also IKEA. And then we've got this round cushion, which looks a bit cheap, but is still really pretty. And I'm a sucker for childish, girly things. And this was, can you believe it, £4 from Asda. So that's the end of the soft furnishings. While we're on the Asda note, I may as well go into the few things I got from Asda, which I actually love. There are two, is it latte glasses, or hot chocolate glasses with little sticks of festive rock on them. I think they were £1.50 each or something ridiculous like that. And then this adorable gingerbread teapot, which was £8. I have used it as a teapot, and it doesn't dribble. It is quite heavy, but that's about the only downside I can think of. And I'm just thinking what to do next. So I don't forget anything, I think I better go up from the floor. So these little baskets were from the range. I think they were £4 for the smaller ones and maybe £8 for the larger. They all had these canvas little sort of napkin inserts in them. I actually prefer the look of them without, but it does stop small things falling through the bottom. So they're really, really useful, particularly as in this rental property we haven't got chests of drawers and things and you can stack them. On the subject of boxes, I really, really love these little blue and white check cardboard boxes from IKEA. These little decorative boxes are from IKEA. Tea lights from IKEA with a kind of nice cinnamony smell. This is from the range. This is what I think is maybe slightly Indian looking. It looks a tiny bit cheap up close, but it's really handy and really pretty. I keep it on my bedside table. This little jug, which I'm sure a lot of you have got or have seen, is a classic from IKEA. I think it's something like £4, and I think it's perfect. Perfectly designed and functional little thing. Lovely little balls of paper string from IKEA. I love simple things like that. Fairy lights from Tiger. Black alarm clock from IKEA. This really delightful little, I think they're called angel chimes. I didn't know what they were called before. And I've never really noticed them, to be honest, but I was struck by this little fox, this little gold fox, which it turns when you light the tea light and the warm air drifts up. It turns and throws pretty fleeting shadows across the room, and it sort of glances as the light catches it. And yeah, so that, oh my goodness, and I forgot the main thing, which you can't really see, but there's a really, really lovely looking wooden bench from IKEA. Very sturdy, actually very heavy. We ordered it and put it together, and you can see it in the Scandinavian bedroom video. About these two lamps, also from IKEA. This one was reduced, well, they were both in the reduced section. This one was £20, can you believe it? This big black standing lamp. I don't know how they can make it for £20. I really like the look of it. I've liked them for quite a while, but I couldn't afford them. And this one was, oh, this was £10, and this was also in the damaged or reduced section, but there was nothing wrong with it. I think it was just ex-display. And again, I really love the IKEA design for these little desk lamps. Now, let's go on to the foliage. This is an IKEA, I don't know what to call it, but it's in the Vinterfest section, and you hang them on the wall. These do look really cheap, plasticky, and kind of gross close up, but again, from a distance, they look so pretty. And I've tried to make my own kind of wreaths and wall decorations with real holly, real leaves, real berries, and they last for a day or two, and you puncture your fingers in the process and you get leaves everywhere, and you're handling poisonous berries and then they're brown and you've got sort of pine needles and stuff everywhere, and you have to do it again. So I've decided I'm through with making real foliage decorations. These wreaths you can see in the background are also from IKEA in the Vinterfest section, but I added some berries which I got in Tiger. I think these were, oh gosh, £2 a sprig, or was it £4? I really love these berries, kind of autumnal and wintry. And so if you buy a few cheap wreaths and sprigs of berries, you can weave them all together and create something that looks at least 3 times as good as they do individually, if you know what I mean. And then the last bit of foliage around the back is lots of IKEA flowers. These really, really pretty pink sweet pea sprigs, which this is new, I think, in IKEA, and all the others are IKEA flowers as well. And this really lovely blue glass vase, which is actually really heavy. You can see the IKEA tea trolley a bit better here. The bottom is so handy. I use it for cushions at the moment, but you could throw anything in there, like slippers, books. I've had my laptop and cables in there, so handy. And here is the little peppermint colour. Actually, is that peppermint? It's more like spearmint colour trolley. Now, these tins were not cheap. They were from John Lewis, and I think they were £20 for 3. I got them because most of my kitchen stuff is green and red. I wouldn't have bought them if I'd known they were £20, but I don't know if you know, in Waitrose and John Lewis, the homeware isn't priced. There's just like a sign with lots of different prices on it. And so you can't, I anyway can't tell how much each product is until I take it to the till, and by then I'm just too embarrassed to say no thanks, so I just bought it. But I really like them, actually. There's a stripy one, red one with the foliage lid, and that. Actually, they've dented already, and I haven't been very rough with them, so they're not that great quality for £20. I just want to also mention that it's possible to pick up some jars and tins for not very much money. You don't have to buy the Kilner jars, for instance. When I got this little kitchen trolley, which by the way has a really handy chopping board, a very durable, substantial chopping board on the top, which you can take off and on, and it gives you an extra work surface in the kitchen. When I bought this trolley, I realised I didn't really want to put food packages in there. I wanted to put some jars in there, which would look a lot nicer. So I went to lots of pound shops and I got some jars in pound shops, Some jars in the range. This was a sauerkraut, I think, was in here, and I just washed it out. So of course you can use, you know, jars you have pickles, gherkins, lots of other things in. Just wash them out and in warm soapy water take the label off. Now it's got little meringues in. This was also from a pound shop, this little pink tin. I got it because it was pretty good for £1, and it kind of goes with my pink, red and green kitchen theme. May as well go onto the top here. And this glass jar and the utensils inside it are from IKEA. I love the look of the jar and the utensils, and I'm quite delighted to have a soup ladle and pasta. I'm not sure what this is called, but I've never had these before. And then there's two little tea light holders. That's all from IKEA. Just because I bought so many tea lights, I realised then I didn't have anything to put them in. And before, I started a fire in one of the places I lived in because I thought you could just put tea lights on any old surface and not realise they kind of get really hot and melt whatever's underneath them. Which in this case turned out to be a black plastic keyboard. Right, onto the table itself. Now, all these blankets, the bottom one is a blue spot and white, quite chunky cotton or linen throw with a little fringe. It was very cheap, maybe £15. The next is from the range, it was £20. I like this side of it, which is why I've got it this side. On my Instagram you can also see the other side, which is like a kind of dull, supposedly patchwork, sagey green brown. This one is from IKEA, I think it's £19. It's a really cosy, chunky woolen knit. And these top two are from Amazon. Believe it or not. Yes, Amazon does have some nice homeware. This one was £40 and this one was £20. They're both absolutely beautiful. I kind of prefer this one. This bowl is from IKEA. It's got a nice, it's wooden, but it's got a really nice white, shiny, kind of enamel looking outside. And these salad serving spoons with this cute kind of Swedish design, also from IKEA. This candle, which I'm going to give as a gift to someone, I bought it because I thought what a lovely jar it was, or pot, which I thought would be nice to have even when the candle disappeared. The candle itself has got a kind of Christmas cinnamony smell, and that was from Sainsbury's. This is from Tiger, and I really like the little design. Is that mistletoe? They're from a pound shop, these little blackboards. These are also from a pound shop, these little mugs, £1 each I think. This was from Amazon. I liked it because it's a strawberry, and I needed a really bright red thing to finish off my festive shelves. And this is from Tiger. This is a biscuit jar, believe it or not, but it looks like a little merry-go-round, and I thought it went rather well with my gingerbread teapot and the latte glasses from Asda. This little bag underneath is just a little tote bag. Canvas bag was I think £2 from Tiger, and I absolutely love the print. I bought a little plastic makeup organizer from Tiger because I keep all my makeup in this little brown set of drawers from IKEA actually, but I thought I could have the things I use on a regular basis on the top in here. Then these ribbons were from Tiger. I think it was something like £3 or £4 for 5 ribbons. I've used up 2 of the designs, so I only have these left. This is a toadstool one, an apple one, and I really don't know what this, I don't know what this ribbon is. I've looked at it always. Is it a heart? Is it a skull? I have no idea, but it's pretty. The other 2 ribbons, I don't know if you can see, are here. So there was a red heart. They're just on Christmas presents now, and just a red satiny one. And there beneath are the toadstool one and the blue and red apple ribbon. I bought 2 little egg cups. These are going to be for presents. In fact, quite a bit of this stuff is for presents for people. This is for a little girl, and this is for a little boy. These are from Tiger. This delightful little merry-go-round is a Christmas tree decoration, but I use it for my kitchen shelves, and that's from Tiger. Would you believe it? Actually, you probably would, because you've seen them in Tiger. These reading glasses are from Tiger. I do have prescription reading glasses, but they're so strong that I feel really woozy and my eyes hurt when I take them off, so these are really weak, and I thought I could use them just for reading and lots of hours on the laptop. And I actually really like the little red plastic frames as well. This is the last Tiger trinket, which is, I think, a delightful little felt bird, and I've hung him from the kitchen shelves. And then onto the final 2 objects, I think, amazingly enough. These are from Oliver Bonus, and they were reduced, and they're a salt and pepper shaker. And I'm not sure if I mentioned, but this money box is also from Oliver Bonus, which was reduced in a seasonal sale. Oh yes, these flowers are from the range. They're all fake. There are two bouquets popped together in a jam jar. I thought they might go reasonably well with the purple and pink in that duvet set. Sometimes the trick I like to use is to put real flowers with fake flowers, and then most of the time it looks pretty good. And finally, I just spotted a final thing, which is this fake silver candlestick holder, which is not really me at all, because I don't like grand looking things, but I wanted a kind of Swedish looking dining table, and I noticed that in lots of pictures on Pinterest there was this kind of candelabra. Oh, and this is from the range, this kind of seasonal wreath thing, which I cut up and tried to put along these bookshelves to cover the fact that the bookcase itself is kind of ugly, but it didn't work. Yeah, some things you just can't do anything about. And that is it. I will not be buying any more homeware for